The difference between you and the large business, apart from the size and the capital and everything, is the fact that they have their roles defined and you do not. You might be a small business owner who is basically doing all the operations in the business. You're the one doing the baking, you're the one doing the deliveries, doing all the things in your business. But there is a basic need for you to define the roles in your business, because if you want to actually grow your business, for example, you own a small food business or you're running a business from your bedroom, and your vision is to grow your business into like a chain or a franchise, whatever. You would notice that a franchise has all these executives, has all these big operations, people who are doing deliveries and all those kind of stuff, and you're basically doing the entire thing yourself. The difference between you and the large business, apart from the size and the capital and everything, is the fact that they have their roles defined and you do not. So in this video, I would like to share with you the strategies for you to implement, the differences between the founder and the CEO, and why you should have roles in your business. So when we started our business, we had no defined roles. Everyone, like I said, was doing everything, but we had like a perspective to what you're actually bringing to the business. I was the person who was good with math and finance and those kind of things, while my partner was good with food and stuff. So we decided to start a partnership. And I talked about that in one of my previous videos. We had to define our roles and define our responsibilities, because for us to grow, we need this definition, and also to prevent fights and arguments and clashes on who is supposed to do this and who is supposed to do that. And one thing I noticed when I started my research was that the difference between a big business and a small business is in this definition of roles. For example, in a big business, we have the CEO, we have the VPs of marketing, of product, of finance, and HR, and all those stuff. And it might seem that it's not available in a small business, but that's wrong. Because in as much as you are doing everything in the business, from the making of the food to the deliveries and everything, you cannot do that for 5 locations. You cannot do that for 3 locations. And that's because you cannot split yourself like that. You would need to hire. And for you to hire, you would need to hire into these roles. You might need to hire someone to make the food for you. That's a role. That's the staff. That's a kitchen staff. You might need someone to do a delivery for you. Now you're hiring someone into that role that you once played. And the aim of this is that as the business grows, as the business expands, you will need to fill in every of these defined roles. You need to find someone who is great at product, and that might be you. But the aim of a business long term is for you to sell the business, or for you to probably retire from the business and then have someone else run that business for you long term. Like I said, we have in a big business, there is the CEO, there are VPs of marketing, and you might be wondering how are you going to bring these things to you to make sure that you as a person can implement what these big businesses are implementing, so that you can be able to grow. First of all, we have to define a few terms. We have to define what this role of a CEO is. Because one thing I've seen many businesses is the fact that everyone is a CEO. And that's true, because a CEO is basically the person in charge of the entire business. What that means is he's the person that is in charge of everything that happens in the business, but he's not necessarily the one doing everything, every little thing in the business. For example, you might be a small business owner and you are the one doing everything in your business. You are the CEO, but you are also the delivery guy, and you're also the staff, and you're also this. But a CEO in the most basic form is the person that is in charge of, let's say, the operations of the business, the day-to-day operations. And there's a difference between that and the person who starts a business or who owns the business. There's a difference between a founder, there's a difference between a shareholder, and there's a difference between the CEO. They are not the same. A founder is the person who starts the business, and most likely is the person who owns the entirety of the business. For example, you're a small business owner, you have a small shop, you have a small business, and you are just starting your business. You have an idea and you have started implementing it. You're the person who founded the business. You're like the founder of the business. And then there's what we now call the shareholders. Now, a shareholder doesn't necessarily have to be a founder. A founder is totally different from the shareholder. And that's because a shareholder is the owner of the company. That's fine, but it doesn't necessarily have to begin the business. For example, you have an idea, you want to start out a business, and then you need about 5 million naira in capital to start the business. But someone comes and meets you and say, okay, I don't want to actually be involved in your business, but I want to give you 5 million naira to start. But for me to give you that 5 million naira, I would need 20% of your business. And you agree. Now, he now is a shareholder because basically what he has done, he has taken a piece of your business. You now own 80% of the business while he owns 20% of the business. That means that he is a shareholder, you are a founder and also a shareholder because you own particular shares in the business. Now, a CEO is someone who is an employee of the business. Now, yes, the difference between the owner of a business and the employee of the business. The employee reports to the founders. The employee reports to the shareholders. And it's necessary to have this distinction because the CEO is an employee and it can be filled by any person. It doesn't have to be you. Another person can fill in that particular role of a CEO or COO, whatever. And by CEO, I mean Chief Executive Officer, and by COO, I mean Chief Operating Officer. The difference between Chief Executive Officer and Chief Operating Officer basically depends on the business. Sometimes the COO is the CEO, right? It's the person that is in charge of the operations. And by operations, I mean handling the day-to-day activities of the business. That's the CEO. And you'll notice that there are what we call executives in all these big organizations. And these executives they are just big words for saying that they handle different parts of the organization. For example, someone can be in charge of product. They will call that person vice president of product, or they will call that person chief of product, or like chief product officer, CPO. Someone might be in charge of marketing and they will call the person chief marketing officer or CMO, right? They are just basically titles, but they have a function that they are playing, meaning that they are focusing on this is their department and they are focusing on that department. Now you might be saying, how does this apply to you as a small business owner? The thing is, as a small business owner, you need to figure out what are the roles you are playing and probably have them written out so that you can be able to know what you're hiring for as you grow up or as you scale your business. So you can know that, okay, I'm putting on this hat as a marketing officer, I'm putting on this hat as a senior product officer or whatever. You need to know that this is the hat I'm putting at this time. I need to have this listed out. So as you grow in your business, you can be able to say that, okay, this particular role, I'm not very good at this role. I don't really like finance and stuff. And I need to hire for this role. I need to hire a bookkeeper. I need to hire someone who's going to report my profit and loss statements. Now, you have to have this written down because when we started, we had no roles. Like I said, we just had a basic idea of what we were supposed to be doing. But the moment I listed it out, the moment I said that, okay, this is the strata of the business. Let's start at the base level. We have the kitchen staff, we have the delivery guys, we have this person who runs ads, we have this person who's going to be in charge of posting content, we have that person who is posting content, and the person who's reporting to is like a content manager. We have the social media manager in that sense. And then we have the person who is in charge of the finance, right? The person who is doing the bookkeeping. And then we have someone he's reporting to. And the truth about this is, it was basically the two of us. We did not have someone else who is basically doing this. But the reason we did this was because so that moving forward, we know that, okay, this is the hat you're putting on, right? This is the role you are playing. Yes, we are the founders of the business, right? But what roles are you going to play? You're going to be in charge of the product, right? That is, you're the chief product officer, right? Now, on that product, there's someone that's supposed to be checking the quality of the product. We call him the quality assurance manager, whatever. So who is going to do that particular role? You as the person is going to do that particular role. And you're supposed to have a report to the chief product officer. And that chief product officer is going to report to the COO. Now, who is the COO or who is the CEO of the business? Now we have to pick. Look at the responsibilities of the CEO. The CEO or the COO is responsible for the product, responsible for the marketing, responsible for the finance, and responsible for the HR staff and all those stuff. Are you ready to take on those roles? We had to say that, okay, this is what I'm good at, this is what I'm good at. Now, this is the person that is going to be the COO. And the job of that COO, Chief Operating Officer, is to ensure that everybody else is doing his job. So we divided this amongst ourselves And then we now realize that things were moving more smoothly because everyone now knows, okay, this is what I'm supposed to be doing, and this is who I'm supposed to be reporting to. So in the future, when we want to hire for a particular role, we will say that, okay, what are we trying to relieve at this point? Okay, we are trying to relieve the social media manager role. Okay, we are going to hire for that. And then that person is going to report to who? The person is going to report to most likely the chief of marketing or whatever, or the marketing manager, whatever, which is still us. But we know that that role has been occupied by someone else. And then moving forward, we can now say, okay, we want to hire someone who is more skilled and more experienced for us in marketing. So we are going to go out and hire a chief of marketing who's going to be in charge of all our marketing endeavors. Now, that chief of marketing is going to report to who? The COO or the CEO. So are you seeing the breakdown? Are you seeing the strategy? Because this is just you having plans for your growth. So you putting these things in place is you having plans for your growth. So I hope this video has been helpful and has given you some insight into how the roles in your business should be structured. I'm Daniel Lubuti, and I make these videos because I want to document my own journey on what worked for me and also the things that did not work for me. I may help 1 or 2 business owners grow and scale their businesses. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one.